My child, do not rush past this moment. Pause the scroll, silence the swirl, let your shoulders drop and hear me. What I am about to speak is not another motivational line passing through your feed like a gust that stirs dust and settles nothing. This is a hinge, a key, a word placed at the threshold of your work season. Your work is not stuck, it is being aligned. I see you in the morning with the screen bright and the emails unread. Your cursor hovering over replies you've written and erased 3 times because you do not want your weariness to leak through your words. I see the commute that feels longer than the miles, the sigh you hide in the elevator, the smile you press into place during meetings so that no one suspects that inside. A quiet fear has been rehearsing the sentence. Maybe this is it. Maybe I missed the moment. I see the meetings that should have been emails, and the emails that carry decisions about your life made by people who have not heard your prayers. I see the late nights staring at the ceiling, the calculations you run, the hypothetical moves you map, the what-ifs that whisper until sleep is shallow and morning comes too soon. I see how you have remained faithful, showing up, holding your integrity when shortcuts were popular, refusing bitterness even as you were overlooked. My beloved child, I see it all, and I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you. You have called it stagnation. You have named it delay. You have wondered if I forgot where you work, if my silence meant indifference about what pays your bills and stretches your faith. But what you call stagnation, I call alignment. Delay is not the evidence of abandonment. It is the space in which I reshape your wings before you fly. I am not suffocating you with a closed door. I am fitting you to carry what is prepared without it crushing you when it arrives. I am laying the foundation before I build the house, calibrating the weight-bearing beams of your character, your speech, your boundaries, your rest, so that increase does not become injury. Listen to me. You are not a victim of randomness. Your days are ordered and there is an appointed time. Not a date you can bargain for, not a title you can manipulate, but a moment in which what I have readied and what I have readied in you meet precisely. When the appointed time comes, it will not be chaos. It will be convergence. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord, and while you wait, know this waiting is working. Psalm 27:14. Here is the question I am placing like a compass in your spirit, the diagnostic that will govern the way you interpret the pressure you feel. Is this pressure an attack, a training, or a redirection? Do not be quick with your answer. Do not label every hard thing an enemy or every closed door a rejection. Some pressure is warfare designed to steal your identity before it steals your future. Some pressure is training that strengthens your hands, builds your stamina, and teaches you the cadence of responsibility so that promotion does not collapse you. Some pressure is a holy nudge turned into an undeniable push, a redirection from where you would be merely used to where you will be rightly sent. We will walk through these paths together, but for now, receive the grace to ask the right question. When you ask rightly, you will move rightly. I will not flatter you with false dates or seduce you with the suggestion that one meeting, one handshake, one viral moment is the entire story. I am not promising you a corner office by Friday, nor am I bargaining for your devotion with the threat of loss. I promise you something weightier. Peace that is not subject to market conditions, clarity that survives the opinions of men, and obedience step by step that leads to real movement. The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord. Psalm 37:23. Steps, plural. You have been demanding a leap when I am crafting a sequence, and each step is a stone I have set, solid under your feet. Feel this now. You are not in neutral grinding your soul while the RPMs scream. You are in alignment. I am setting the gears so that when I say go, acceleration will feel like grace, not strain. I am adjusting relationships, removing the voice that drains you, and bringing the counsel that centers you. I am refining your speech, teaching you when to be silent and when to answer with wisdom that disarms. I am restoring boundaries so that you will no longer bleed out through yeses I never asked you to offer. I am even healing your sleep because a tired mind mistakes exit signs for invitations and reads shadows as threats. I lie down and sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. Psalm 3:5. My child, I am sustaining you now. Do not despise the slowness. Precision looks like delay to the impatient, but it is mercy in disguise. It is mercy that I did not allow you to sign the paper that would have shackled your future. It is mercy that the offer that flirted with your ego walked away so that honor could approach with a ring of covenant and not a cheap promise. What you thought was me withholding was me weaving. I am meticulous in every stage. Breathe. Put your hand on your desk, your steering wheel, your apron, your keyboard, wherever your work meets your hands, and say it out loud. My work is not stuck, it is being aligned. Again, slower so your soul can hear it. My work is not stuck, it is being aligned. Let your fingers write a declaration, type it, text it to yourself, note it on paper. Aligned, not stuck, appointed time. This is not a trick of positive thinking. This is agreement with me. When you open your mouth and say, I believe what you are saying, you raise a new altar in your own heart. Today, the heaviness begins to lift. Not because your inbox is empty or your manager suddenly understands your genius, but because you are stepping out of the lie that you are forgotten and into the truth that you are being formed. The courage you need will not be a reckless impulse. It will be a peace-filled boldness, a steady conviction that allows you to stay when staying is holy, to speak when silence becomes complicity, and to pivot when I say, go. Now is the time to listen, to discern, to let me mark the lanes. No more delay in your hearing, no more confusion about my heart toward your work. I am with you at your desk as surely as I am with you at the altar. I am as near in the conference room as I am in the quiet corner of your home. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Still does not mean passive. It means anchored. Let me anchor you in this. You are not trapped. You are being led. And I have been waiting to tell you this so that you would not abandon your post in panic, nor cling to what is dying from fear. Walk with me to the gate of discernment, and you will see the path open. Your career is not stuck. It is being aligned at an appointed time, and when that time sounds, you will be ready, not just to receive, but to carry. My beloved child, listen closely. The pressure at your desk is not only workload, it is warfare. You are walking through an invisible battlefield, and the air around your assignments has been contested. Discouragement has been whispering like a draft beneath the door. Comparison has been casting shadows over your light, measuring your worth by someone else's timeline. Intimidation has been standing at the threshold of your meetings, trying to rename you before you open your mouth. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you. When you can see the field, you stop confusing the dust of battle for the dirt on your identity. You have assumed that what is coming against you is merely the opinion of a manager or the indifference of a system. Hear me. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, Ephesians 6:12. Your manager is not your true enemy. Your co-workers are not your true judges. Even the systems that seem to ignore your integrity are not sovereign over your outcomes. There are accusations that move like currents beneath the surface, and they try to reach for your name before they reach for your role. This is why the same email thread leaves you shaking while others walk away. Casual, because it is not only content, it is contention. It is not that people are innocent of folly or free of sin, but that they are not ultimate. Do not wage war against faces when the conflict is against forces. Guard your heart from bitterness toward people so that you can wield authority against the true adversary. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. For this is your heritage, and I am your vindication. Isaiah 54:17. Let me expose the subtle attacks so you stop absorbing them as personality. The constant second-guessing that makes you rewrite a simple sentence 6 times until your confidence thins. That is not humility, it is harassment. The sudden fatigue that blankets you the moment you sit to learn, to update the resume, to refine the portfolio. That is not mere tiredness, it is a fog sent to stall your sharpening. The confusion that swirls right before an important conversation, words slipping from your grasp, point after point evaporating, that is not proof you are incompetent. It is an attempt to silence your rightful sound. The fear of being seen that compels you to dim your contribution in rooms you were sent to brighten, that is not wisdom, it is intimidation disguised as prudence. The irrational dread when a calendar invite appears, the spike of anxiety before a review, the way a compliment ricochets off your chest while a critique drills straight in. These are patterns, not personality. They are tactics designed to make you mistrust your own name so that you relinquish ground you were meant to stand on. And there is more I will not hide from you. The just one more article that keeps you researching instead of moving. The over-polishing that turns excellence into delay. The scrolling that numbs you so thoroughly that the hour meant for building bleeds away. That is not leisure, it is a siphon. The subtle offense that tempts you to build a case in your head, so strong that you cannot receive correction, even when it would lift you. That is a wedge, not wisdom. The instinct to isolate after feeling overlooked, to withdraw your best and give only the minimum. This is how the enemy trades your crown for a crust, convincing you to call self-protection strategy while your spirit starves. Hear me again. I do not reveal this to crush you with suspicion, but to cut the strings so you can stand. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you. You have been absorbing pressure as identity, but pressure is weather, not your name. Let the gale announce the war. Let it not define who you are. You are mine. You are not behind. You are not too much. You are not difficult, average, inconsistent, a risk. Those labels do not come from me. The battle has been to tag you with a counterfeit name, so that when opportunity calls for the true you, a stranger answers. Because it is warfare, you need a strategy. Armor is not poetry to me. It is instruction. Gird your waist with truth. Set your calendar and conscience in accord. Refuse to lie to yourself about what you carry and what you need. Put on the breastplate of righteousness. Keep your hands clean. Make no backroom deals with resentment. Refuse shortcuts that stain your honor. Shod your feet with the readiness of the gospel of peace. Enter rooms as one already reconciled to me, able to bring calm without shrinking. Lift up the shield of faith. Let gratitude and remembered testimony quench the fiery darts of sudden dread and email-born panic. Take the helmet of salvation. Guard your mind from catastrophic conclusions and identity amnesia. You are saved, sealed, and sent. Wield the sword of the Spirit, which is my word. Answer accusations with what I have written about you. You are my workmanship. Ephesians 2:10. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Take every thought captive to obey Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. This is not denial of reality. This is dominion in reality. Do not be surprised when the battle intensifies around moments of advancement. Hell rarely fights what does not threaten it. When you are on the verge of sending the proposal, when you are about to schedule the meeting, when you consider asking for the raise, when you begin shaping the pivot, notice how fog, fatigue, and fear converge. This convergence has a purpose: to rename you not ready, presumptuous, unworthy. But I have prepared a portion of blessing bearing your name, and I do not allow thieves to retitle my inheritance. In the courts of heaven I have already issued a radiant decree with your name engraved. Accusations have been filed. I have overruled by the blood. Stand under my verdict. Speak from under my verdict. Now let us act. Put your hand on your badge, your laptop, your apron, your tool, whatever symbolizes your work, and declare aloud, I am not named by pressure, I am named by God. My work is not stuck, it is being aligned. I refuse intimidation, I receive clarity. Peace governs my lanes. Let your fingers write a declaration. Type it where you will see it this week. I will not absorb pressure as identity. I carry peace into conflict. My name is restored. When you open your mouth and agree with me, you raise an altar of truth where lies once nested. Go ahead and write it now. Let your own hands become witnesses against the old whisper. Here is where we turn. Before you choose whether to stay and prepare, speak and set order, or pivot and be sent, you must reclaim your name. If you choose from a stolen name, you will choose from fear. If you choose from a restored name, you will choose with wisdom. I am not rushing you. I am readying you. I will teach your hands to war and your words to carry weight. I will show you the line between honoring people and bowing to pressure. You will stop mislabeling colleagues as enemies, and you will stop bowing to spirits that only pretend to be wisdom. You will move from heaviness to courage, clothed in peace. Take courage, my child. I am with you at your desk, at your bench, on your route, in your lab, in your classroom. I am nearer than the cursor that blinks on your screen. Now is the time. No more delay in your seeing. The unseen battle is real, but so is my victory. Reclaim your name and the next gate will open. My beloved child, stay with me here, because this is where the lock has been, and this is where I turn the key. I am placing my hand upon the tags others pin to you, and the tags you quietly pin to yourself in order to survive. They said incompetent, too old, replaceable, behind, not leadership material, always struggling. Some spoke it outright with careless words. Some implied it with narrowed eyes and withheld invitations. Some you read between the lines and completed the sentence against yourself. Hear me. These are not mere adjectives, they are spiritual gateways. A label is a key because it names the container. It decides what enters and what is kept out. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you. When you wear what I did not write, you unconsciously grant access to outcomes I did not author. Your name, your true name, was meant to be a seal of blessing, a signature of favor, an imprint of my image upon your work, so that rooms recognize the sound of grace when you enter. But accusations tried to turn your name into a target, to make the very letters of your identity a bullseye for shame. In the courts of heaven there were files opened with allegations and history, verdicts the enemy hoped to bind around your neck like a signboard. Yet even there I stood and overruled by the blood. I issued a radiant decree with your name engraved not as a suspect, but as a son, not as a liability, but as an heir. Still on the earth's floor and in your own thoughts, the counterfeit labels lingered like sticky residue that made new opportunities catch and stall. Let me speak to the hidden choreography you adopted beneath those labels. You began performing to survive, always calculating, curating, becoming hyper-competent in the least threatening way so that no one would see how much capacity you really carry. You learn to shrink to avoid critique, editing your voice down to what would not draw fire, dimming your solutions so that gatekeepers would not feel insecure when you solved what they could not name. You overworked to earn safety, trading rest for the illusion of control, adding hours like armor, hoping exhaustion could purchase what favor freely gives. You apologized for existing in rooms I sent you to lead, tiptoeing around small spirits as if their comfort were the price of your destiny. You started pre-rejecting yourself, telling yourself I'm behind, so you would not have to feel the sting if someone else said it first. You shrank your dreams to the size of their tolerance and then called it wisdom. Child, that was not wisdom. It was self-protection baptized in fear. Listen to me and let these words tear the old contracts. I have never required you to purchase your place. I gave you my name. To all who receive me, who believe in my name, I gave the right to become children of God. John 1:12. Right, not a favor you must maintain with flawless days. Right, not a trial period that ends when you have a human moment. Your identity is a legal adoption sealed in my spirit. Your surname in the unseen is mine. When you walk into work, heaven recognizes you as family. I do not introduce you as barely making it, anxious but useful, or someday ready. I call you by your true name, mine. And whom the Son sets free is free indeed. John 8:36. Not free until your next review. Not free when the metrics finally applaud you. Free indeed. Free at the level of definition. I break the agreement you made with incompetent. You are my workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which I prepared beforehand that you should walk in them. Ephesians 2:10. I break the agreement you made with too old. I renew your youth like the eagle and honor gray hairs as a crown of wisdom. I break the agreement with replaceable. I knit you together with a combination of insight, history, and anointing no one can duplicate. I break the agreement with behind. Your times are in my hands, and I do not grade you on their curves. I break the agreement with not leadership material. I make you the head and not the tail, above only and not beneath when you heed my ways. Deuteronomy 28:13. I break the agreement with always struggling. I am your shepherd. You shall not want. Psalm 23:1. Let these words be more than comfort. Let them be court orders executed over your life. Now, do something with me. Put your hand over your heart and declare aloud, I renounce every label that does not come from God. I break agreement with incompetent, too old, replaceable, behind, not leadership material, always struggling. I receive my true name, child of God, free indeed. Let your fingers write a declaration where your eyes will meet it in the pressure moments. I do not work for identity. I work from identity. I carry my Father's name into my work. My name is a seal of blessing, not a target for shame. Go ahead. Write it now as a sign that you agree. Let your own hands testify against the old whisper and for the new word I am speaking over you. As you speak, feel the exchange begin. The striving that kept you up at night loosens its grip. The need to explain yourself to small minds quiets. The reflex to overproduce, to outrun criticism, loses its power. Peace takes the seat that panic used to occupy. You will notice the impulse to shrink before strong personalities begin to lift, not because you learned new tricks of posture, but because you remembered who carries you into the room. You will set boundaries without apology because you no longer fear that no will cost you belonging. You will be able to receive feedback without letting it turn into a verdict because your verdict has already been rendered at a higher court. When identity is restored, sight is restored. The fog on your discernment was not ignorance, it was insult. The pressure looked the same whether it was attack, training, or redirection, because you were reading it through a stolen name. But now, with your name returned to you, what felt like an undifferentiated heaviness will separate into clarity. You will recognize when to stay and prepare, because the stretch will strengthen instead of shred. You will know when to speak and set order, because courage will come with peace instead of rage. You will sense when to pivot and be sent, because the burden to convince will be replaced by the grace to move. This is why I cleanse the label before I change the lane, so that you walk into the next season unowned by names I did not give you. Breathe, my child. Lift your head. I am polishing your name again until it reflects me without the fingerprints of accusation. Your badge may carry a title, your email a signature, your resume a list of roles, but your spirit carries my seal. Now is the time. No more delay in how you see yourself. From here we step to the gate of discernment, and I will show you the path before you, whether to stay and prepare, to speak and set order, or to pivot and be sent, guided not by fear but by a restored name marked by peace. My beloved child, before we step through the gate of discernment, let me place my hand upon this ache that keeps returning like a low tide. Why has it taken so long? Why has the middle stretched until it felt like a corridor with no exit? Hear me. Delay is not a closed door. It is the space where I build capacity. What you called delay, I have called alignment. I have not been ignoring you. I have been enlarging you so that the very blessing you asked for does not become a burden you cannot carry. I tell you this not to shame you and not to pacify you with vague comfort, but to awaken you to the precision of my love. I see the gray zone where your hope has gone quiet. You are still employed, still answering messages, still showing up to the meetings, still kind when cynicism would be easier, but inside there is a hush, a pause between inhaling and exhaling, where you wonder if heaven is watching your work at all. The hallway of almosts, the waiting room after you've outgrown your last role, but nothing new has called your name. The Tuesdays that look like last Tuesday, this is the gray I am naming. I am not absent from that color. I am in it, saturating what looks like monotony with hidden meaning. I am standing so near that I feel even the sigh you do not speak out loud. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Psalm 27:14. I am not telling you to wait because I delight in suspense. I am telling you to wait because I am strengthening what must not snap under weight. Capacity is not a mystery to me, it is my craft. I am curing the timber of your character like a master builder who refuses to set green wood into the frame of a house that must stand through storms. If I rush the curing, the beams will warp when the heat of promotion hits. So in the gray zone, I season you. I season your patience so that you can hold tension without leaking frustration into every conversation. I season your skill so that competence goes from flashes to flow, from occasional brilliance to dependable stewardship. Emails tightened, presentations refined, listening sharpened, follow-through made faithful. I season your emotional strength so that criticism does not collapse you and praise does not intoxicate you. I season your integrity so that your private yes and your public yes are the same word, and the expense report, the quiet credit, the invisible choices align with who you say you are. I season your discernment so that you can tell the difference between an open door and a trap, between a flattering invitation and a covenant that would drain your soul. In delay, I do not diminish you, I define you. I turn potential into pattern. Do not despise how I train you to breathe under pressure. When timelines compress, when feedback is firm, when opportunities arrive wrapped in complexity, you will not flinch as you once did, because the gray zone taught you to be anchored. The Lord will fight for you. You need only be still. Exodus 14:14. Still is not the same as stuck. Still is not apathy. Still is anchored. Still is moving from peace, not from panic. Answering from identity, not from insecurity. I am teaching you that pace because the next season requires a steady hand. I have also used delay to protect you from premature exposure. There were rooms that would have consumed your energy and celebrated your talent, but starved your soul. I did not permit those to open. There were offers that would have paid you in compliments while paying you little honor. I did not allow your heart to sign what your spirit would one day grieve. You saw a detour, I saw a snare. You saw a long way around. I saw a path where allies could be formed, where mentors could emerge, where strategies could mature. If I had hurried you, you would have arrived without language to articulate your value or boundaries to guard your rest. What you interpreted as me withholding was me weaving, timelines, relationships, knowledge, and the quiet strength that makes opportunity sustainable. You ask me, how will I know this is preparation and not punishment? Watch for these signs. When the same stretch that used to shred you now strengthens you, that is preparation. When you can receive correction without spiraling into shame, that is capacity. When you can bless those who overlook you and refuse to craft secret verdicts against them, that is integrity. When you can say no without apology and yes without fear, no to what drains your call, yes to what aligns with your design, that is discernment. When your work behind the scenes is as faithful as your work in the spotlight, that is stewardship. When you can carry a delay without narrating yourself as a failure, that is maturity. The gray zone is not where hope dies. It is where hope anchors. Let me be practical with you because I am not building castles of rhetoric. I am building a life. I am training you to plan with me, to stop outsourcing your calendar to panic. I am teaching you to finish small things well so that larger things trust you. I am coaching your speech to be both gentle and exact, so that your yes means yes and your no means no. I am showing you that rest is not laziness. It is maintenance of the engine that pulls weight. I am reconnecting you to gratitude not as fake positivity but as warfare against despair. When you rehearse what I have already done, your mind resists the spiral that says, I do nothing for you. Gratitude builds a shield. Testimony builds a spine. Go ahead and put your hand where your work meets your life, your keyboard, your tool, your planner, your apron, and declare aloud, this is not punishment, this is preparation. My delay is alignment. I am being strengthened for what I am about to carry. Let your fingers write a declaration where you will meet it tomorrow. Capacity over hurry. Alignment over anxiety, anchored, not stuck. This is not a trick of positive thinking. This is agreement with my process. When you open your mouth and agree with me, you raise an altar in the middle of your gray zone, and altars turn waiting rooms into sanctuaries. Hear me one more time with the weight it deserves. I am not late, I am exact. The appointed time is not floating. It is scheduled. I have been forming you to match what has been formed for you, so that when convergence comes, the blessing fits your hands and your hands fit the blessing. No more resenting the kiln that hardens the clay. No more cursing the scaffolding that keeps you safe while the structure rises. Walk with me through the remaining steps of this preparation with a lifted head. Your name is restored, your pace is set, your heart is steady. Now, with delay reinterpreted and capacity recognized, we will move from comfort to diagnosis. The pressure in your present is not random. It is signaling a path. Stay and prepare. Speak and set order or pivot and be sent. 3 paths, 1 Father guiding each step. I will not leave you to guess. I will mark the signs. I will confirm the way. And as you obey, you will discover that what you called waiting was me building a life that can carry what is coming without breaking under the weight of answered prayer. My beloved child, hear me with a steady heart. There are 3 ways I shift a work season: stay and prepare, speak and set order, or pivot and be sent. I will not leave you to guess in the fog. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Before you choose a door, discern the wind. Before you pack your bags or sharpen your words, recognize what kind of pressure is upon you. Not all strain is a sentence. Not all comfort is a covenant. You asked me for clarity. I am placing it in your hands like a lamp for your feet. Start here with the fruit test. You will know them by their fruits. Matthew 7:16. Examine the fruit of the pressure, not only its volume. When the strain is training, it yields growth. Skill sharpening, patience lengthening, humility deepening, small wins accumulating even in hidden places. You sleep tired but satisfied. You wake with fresh ideas. Mentors notice. Small responsibilities multiply because trust is multiplying. That is fruit. When the strain is sabotage, it yields corrosion. Cynicism grows. Excellence decays. Boundaries are mocked, and your name is slowly traded for labels I did not give you. You sleep exhausted and wake resentful. That is rot, not fruit. Then the voice test. Conviction versus condemnation. My spirit convicts to align you. Accusation condemns to erase you. Conviction is specific, doable, and carries the warmth of my nearness. Tighten this, apologize there, refine this skill, and along with it comes grace to act. John 16:8. Condemnation is vague, endless, and cold. You are never enough. Everyone is ahead. Why try? Hear me. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans 8:1. When you feel called higher with hope, that is me. When you feel pressed down without a ladder, that is not me. Next, the weight test, stretching versus crushing. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Matthew 11:30. Easy does not mean effortless, and light does not mean lighthearted games. It means proportionate to grace. Stretching leaves you taller, crushing leaves you diminished. Under stretching, you feel an ache with purpose and find strength you did not know you had. Under crushing, you feel erased, your voice disappears. Your dignity is negotiated away for the illusion of belonging. If to stay, you must betray who I made you to be, you are not being stretched, you are being smothered. Then, the pruning test. Pruning versus punishment. Every branch that bears fruit I prune, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. Pruning removes excess so life can flow. It is precise, seasonal, and purposeful. Punishment is punitive, chaotic, and cyclical, repeating without producing righteousness. All discipline seems painful rather than pleasant in the moment, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. Hebrews 12:11. Look for later. If later never comes, if you remain perpetually diminished with no peace, no maturity, no clearer lane, consider that what you call discipline is actually a demand from a system that wants your output without honoring your name. Now, warnings for your heart. Do not let fear be your navigator. Not every discomfort is a cue to exit. Promotion often arrives wrapped in pressure. When you are learning to manage broader scope, to communicate across temperaments, to hold steady under visibility, discomfort will visit as a tutor. If you run from every furnace, you will forfeit the refining that makes gold shine. Be still. The Lord will fight for you. Exodus 14:14 is not an excuse to freeze in panic. It is a call to anchor while I train your hands. At the same time, do not let comfort become your warden. Not every stable paycheck is a calling. Sometimes comfort is the chain that keeps you in a place where honor is absent and peace is a rumor. If to keep the check you must dim truth, ignore injustice, swallow lies, or sign silent treaties against your own soul, that is not me. That is bondage wearing a benefits package. Child, I am your provider, not your paycheck. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge me, and I will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. Let me give you signs attached to each path so that you are not tossed by every gust. When I say stay and prepare, the signs include anchored peace amid reasonable pressure. You sense grace to learn. Curiosity returns. You begin to see pathways to excellence you could not see before. Mentors or allies appear, sometimes quietly at first, offering feedback that sharpens without shaming. Small doors open inside the same house. Projects entrusted, budgets touched, decisions invited. You feel maturity rising like a steady tide, and even when days are long, joy peeks through after rest. When you imagine staying with me, you feel your spine straighten, not your soul shrink. Resources align for training, certification, system building. Your calendar can be disciplined without your heart being emptied. This is training, not trapping. When I say speak and set order, the signs include repeated moments of disorder that drain what should be life-giving. Unclear roles, boundary violations, gossip corridors disguised as strategy, blame cycling that devours the diligent. Others around you are quietly grieved by the same breaches. Words form in you that are firm and clean, not venomous. Clarity arrives with compassion, and you can picture the conversation without needing to win by wounding. A holy courage settles on you. You can separate people from patterns, honoring persons while confronting practices. You rehearse truth with me, and it does not ignite rage. It ignites resolve. Solutions begin surfacing in your spirit, not just complaints. If you imagine speaking, peace remains in your chest after the rehearsal. That is my boldness, and I will go with you. When I say pivot and be sent, the signs include a lifting of grace where you are and a drawing of grace elsewhere. Effort that once flowed begins to grind. Favor that once found you begins to feel delayed, while unexpected invitations or illuminations land in another field. An old dream awakens. A dormant gift stirs. A conversation opens a door you did not even know had your name on it. When you picture staying, hope dims and dread grows. When you picture going, courage, worship, and a quiet excitement rise. You are not running from correction. You have received it and grown, and yet the inner green light does not return. Provision begins winking at you in the new lane. Introductions, open tabs, resources available at the right time. In prayer, you sense release. The sentence, "Bless and go," sounds like me in your bones. Isaiah 30:21. Beware the counterfeits. Impulsive exits fueled by outrage or humiliation usually announce that your soul is on fire and needs water, not wheels. Rest first. Seek counsel. There is safety in many counselors. Proverbs 11:14. If your imagined speech tastes like revenge, you are not ready to speak. If your imagined pivot is only about escape and not about assignment, wait, you are not yet sent. Likewise, beware the counterfeit stay that is only fear of the unknown dressed in prudence. If the only argument for staying is "it's safe" while your spirit withers, you are negotiating with Pharaoh and calling it loyalty. I am not cruel with guidance. I will confirm by 2 or 3 witnesses my word, my peace, and providential alignment. My wisdom is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits. James 3:17. Look for that sequence. Purity, no compromise with who you are in me. Peace, an anchored chest even when the calendar is full. Gentle strength, courage that does not need to crush, openness to reason, the willingness to listen and be corrected, mercy and good fruits. The pathway lifts people, including you, into righteousness. Let us act together now. Put your hand on your heart and say, I will not move from fear. I will not stay from bondage. I will move from the Father's voice. Let your fingers write a declaration where your eyes cannot avoid it this week. I choose discernment over impulse, fruit over fatigue, conviction over condemnation, stretching over crushing, pruning over punishment. When you write, you are not performing a ritual for my approval. You are aligning your mind with what I am saying, and agreement opens pathways. As you listen for me, I will whisper directions simple enough to obey and strong enough to shift outcomes. I will highlight a conversation you must schedule, a skill you must strengthen, a resume you must update, a meeting you must request, a boundary you must draw, a door you must knock upon. You will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. Now is the time. No more delay in discerning the pressure you feel. From here, we step into the first path. When I say stay, it is never resignation. It is strategic building. I am not consigning you to circles. I am conditioning you for increase. Take my hand. Let me show you how to stay and prepare, so that when promotion arrives, it finds you ready, not merely willing. My beloved child, take my hand and breathe. This is the path where I keep you close so I can strengthen your hands for what is already approaching. If I told you to stay, it is because I am preparing you for increase, not trapping you in delay. I am laying the foundation before I build the house. Foundations are not photographed, they are felt. They are measured by level and plumb line, by patience and hidden skill, by choices that do not trend but do endure. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you to the holy weight of private training, because public seasons rest on secret scaffolding. Look at the signs I have set around you and see them for what they are. New responsibilities without recognition have landed in your lap, not as insult but as invitation. You have been asked to carry a project beyond your title, to draft a plan no one taught you, to solve a problem that does not appear on your job description. Your first instinct has been to protest, to say, "Why me and why now?" Hear me. This is curriculum. I am exposing you to systems you did not ask to see. Budgets, contracts, compliance, the architecture underneath the platform, so that when your name is called, you speak as one who knows not only the spotlight, but the wiring behind it. You find yourself sitting in meetings you were not in before, sometimes as a scribe at the edge of the room, sometimes as the quiet voice asked a sudden question, the kind of question I give you mid-sentence to train your clarity under pressure. Increased accountability has found you. Metrics are being requested. Deadlines are tightening. Reviews are more exact. This is not punishment. It is sizing. I am measuring your frame so that the mantle fits. I have set you in a season where what you do counts even when no applause arrives, because I am converting competence into trust. Do not mistake the obscurity of this hour for irrelevance. You are being trained in private so you can lead in public. David learned the cadence of lions and bears before Goliath's shadow darkened the valley, 1 Samuel 17. And the psalmist said, "He trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle." Psalm 18:34. Training is tedious because mastery hides in repetition. Mastery hides in the way you draft that email with integrity when shortcuts would conceal a problem, in the way you review that spreadsheet line by line, in the way you follow up when no one threatens you, in the way you listen for what is not said in a room and ask questions that dignify people while bringing truth to the table. I am forming muscle memory in your spirit, responses that align with me without debate, so that when the weight of leadership rests on your shoulders, you will not need a committee inside your head to choose righteousness. You will simply move as one whose inner world has been aligned. To stay well, cultivate habits that convert grace into rhythm. Pray before meetings. Make it normal to whisper, "Spirit of wisdom and revelation, rest on me." Ephesians 1:17. And watch how I sharpen your timing, your tone, your ability to read the room. Ask me for the right word at the right time, a word fitly spoken like apples of gold in a setting of silver. Proverbs 25:11. Bless those who oppose you. Do not curse them. Speak blessing over the name of the manager who misunderstands you, over the colleague who takes credit, over the client who is unkind. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. Luke 6:28. You are not permitting injustice. You are poisoning bitterness at its root. Bitterness leaks power. It clouds discernment. It turns you into the kind of leader you vowed never to become. Guard your heart from secret verdicts written in the dark, verdicts that say, "They will never see me. I must become hard to survive." No, child, stay tender in my strength. Soft hearts do not mean weak boundaries, they mean clean vision. See to it that no root of bitterness springs up and causes trouble. Hebrews 12:15. Document excellence. Keep a faithful record of what you steward and strengthen, not as a shrine to ego, but as testimony. Memory will be contested in the day of promotion. Accusations will try to rewrite your history. Keep minutes of miracles and metrics. Projects completed, processes improved, costs saved, clients served, teams strengthened. Store emails of gratitude, track outcomes, capture lessons learned. When review time comes, present your work without apology, gentle, specific, truthful. And in weary moments when the enemy whispers, "You are not moving," you will open your record and preach to your soul, "He has been faithful and I have been faithful." Faith that is never expressed is like a seed never sown. Your journal becomes a field sown with remembrance. Steward time like the gift it is. Order your days with me. Do not outsource your calendar to panic. Build in margin so that excellence has room to breathe. Practice the Sabbath principle not as a relic but as a rhythm. 6 days you shall labor, and the 7th you shall rest. Exodus 29:10. Protect rest because rest is not the reward for finishing. It is the oxygen that allows you to finish. I make you lie down in green pastures. I lead you beside still waters. I restore your soul. Psalm 23, verses 2-3. Refuse the flattery of burnout. Working until your soul frays is not noble. It is negligent. When you honor rest, you announce with your schedule that I, not your hustle, am your source. Staying does not mean silencing what is holy in you. While I train you, I also shape your voice. There will be moments when you disagree. Practice disagreeing with honor. There will be problems you can solve. Practice bringing solutions without shame or superiority. There will be days when you are overlooked. Practice serving with joy, not as a doormat, but as one who knows promotion comes from the Lord. Psalm 75:6-7. Do not become cynical while you are becoming strategic. Cynicism feels like armor, but it rusts the soul. Gratitude is armor that gleams. It guards your perception and opens your eyes to the allies I am sending in plain clothes. I am also orchestrating people around you. Watch for unlikely mentors, those whose emails correct you with kindness, whose questions refine you without breaking you. These are my gifts. I will place you under leaders who demand more from you than you think you can give. When this demand carries dignity and clarity, lean in. When correction arrives, listen for the difference between shame and sharpening. If it is sharpening, say thank you, apply it, and you will feel your stature increase. If it is shaming, do not swallow it. Spit it out with me in prayer, and let me remind you of your name. Not every hard word is holy, but holy words will sometimes be hard. Walk with me in the tension. I am teaching you to eat the meat and leave the bones. Go ahead and act with me now. Put your hand on your planner, your keyboard, your tool, and declare aloud, I am not benched, I am being built. I am not trapped, I am being trained. I choose excellence without bitterness. I choose prayer over panic. I choose rest without guilt. Let your fingers write a declaration where your eyes will meet it in the morning. Foundations first. Faithful in little, fruit over fury. Hidden now, public later. Write it as a sign that you agree. Let this small act be a seed into the soil of your week. Hear me again with the gravity of love. The absence of applause is not the absence of advancement. In this house, I am promoting you by trust before I promote you by title. I am teaching you the back end of what you will one day front. I am calibrating your speech, your pace, your capacity. I am setting angels on assignment to hold doors open at the moment you will walk through them, and I am keeping other doors closed until your stride matches your season. At the appointed time I will act, Habakkuk 2:3, and when I act, no power replaying old labels will be able to delay what I have aligned. But remember, preparation still needs boundaries. Staying is not swallowing chaos. It is stewarding an assignment. There will come a moment when the training you have received must become words you must speak, when silence would no longer be humility, but complicity. That is where path 2 begins, when I say, now you must speak what you have been carrying in silence, not to create conflict, but to set order and restore dignity. Until then, stay with me. Do not become bitter while you become better. Let me strengthen your hands, steady your heart, and enlarge your capacity so that when the increase knocks, it finds you ready, measured, anchored, and called by your true name. Now is the time. No more delay in the work of preparation. My beloved child, lean in and do not let this moment pass like mist over your morning. There comes a time when silence is no longer humility, but consent to confusion. Hear me. When I tell you to speak, I am not stirring conflict. I am restoring order and dignity over your work life. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you. I am the God who sets boundaries for the sea and says, this far you may come and no farther, Job 38:11. And I am teaching you to set holy boundaries with your words, to create order where disorder has devoured your energy and blurred your name. You have noticed the signs. The same disrespect repeats like a loop, subtle dismissals in meetings, your ideas rephrased and credited elsewhere, your hours treated as elastic while others' hours are guarded like treasure. Expectations shift without warning. The goalposts move after the kick. Deadlines are set without resources. Your yes is taken as the promise of endless availability, while your no is treated as rebellion. Unjust workloads stack upon your desk as if injustice were normal. And when you choose integrity, refusing to falsify numbers, refusing to flatter in exchange for favor, you are penalized, sidelined, or called difficult. Child, do not call this normal. This is not normal. This is a breach. And where there is a breach, I raise up a restorer of the breach. Isaiah 58:12. Understand the battle under the surface. You are not wrestling against flesh and blood, but against patterns, powers, and entrenched agreements that profit from confusion. Ephesians 6:12. Intimidation has been whispering to you, keep quiet, or you will lose what little you have. That voice is not mine. That is the sound of a thief who fears the clarity that lives in you. The enemy has tried to silence you first, because if he can take your voice, he can trample your name. If he can trample your name, he can edit your future. I am restoring your voice. I am re-inking your signature. Your words, aligned with me, will function like plumb lines, exposing what leans, straightening what can be straightened, and revealing what refuses to be repaired. Here is how you speak with wisdom, for I will not send you into rooms unprepared. Begin with timing under my hand. Do not burst while the fire is hottest. Ask me for a window of favor, and I will grant it like I did for Nehemiah when he breathed a swift prayer before a king and found his moment, Nehemiah 2:4. Request a meeting rather than a hallway ambush. Ask for clarity, not combat. When you enter, bring a calm that comes from me. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger, James 1:19. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a firm center keeps the truth from being diluted, Proverbs 15:1. Shape your words before you deliver them. Write what you will say and submit it to me in prayer. Strip out accusation, keep precision, speak to patterns, not personalities. Separate the person you honor from the practice you must confront. I value our mission and our team, and because I value them, I must raise a concern about how deadlines and decision rights are being handled. This is alignment, not rebellion. Truth creates order. Lies breed chaos. You are not attacking a person. You are aligning a culture. Let your speech be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each one. Colossians 4:6. Bring clarity, child. Clarity of facts, not fog of feelings alone. Document examples with dates, emails, and concrete outcomes. On March 12th, the scope increased by 40% without additional time or support. On April 3rd, the deliverable was reassigned minutes before presentation. Last quarter, I took on X, Y, and Z on top of my role. The effect has been missed family boundaries and declining quality. For the sake of excellence and sustainability, we need to set clear scope, timelines, and decision rights. Facts anchor the conversation. Precision starves manipulation. Where possible, present solutions. Here is a proposed workflow. Here is a realistic timeline. Here is how we can distribute tasks. Here are decisions that require written confirmation. Wisdom is not merely critique. Wisdom offers pathways. State boundaries cleanly. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Matthew 5:37. Boundaries do not require apology. They require honor. I am available during these hours. I can own this deliverable with these resources by this date. If scope changes, we must revisit timelines. I will not sign off on numbers I cannot verify. I will not engage in conversations that demean a colleague. Write agreements down. After the meeting, send a summary email that captures mutual decisions, responsibilities, and next steps. This is not pettiness, this is protection. In the courts of heaven and in the records of men, let there be witnesses and written clarity. Deuteronomy 19:15. Confusion thrives where records are absent. Order grows where light is turned on. Guard your tone, firm spine, soft face. Do not rehearse to win, rehearse to heal. If anger keeps hijacking your mouth, fast a meal and let me tame your tongue. If fear keeps choking your voice, put your hand on your throat and pray, Lord, touch my lips, put your words in my mouth. Jeremiah 1:9. I will. You will feel a holy steadiness rise. You will hear me nudge your cadence, slow your phrases, shorten your sentences so truth can land without being lost in a storm. You will feel me stop you when a sentence would cross from conviction into contempt. Obey those gentle breaks. They are saving both your integrity and your influence. Do not fight alone. Seek counsel before you speak. There is safety in many counselors. Proverbs 11:14. Invite one trusted mentor to review your notes. If policy requires a witness in the room, do not be afraid to request it. If the environment has a chronic patterns of retaliation, prepare a broader covering. Loop in appropriate oversight. human resources, or a mediator. I am not sending you into a pit. I am sending you with armor. Above all, cover the entire process in prayer. The Lord will fight for you. You have only to be still on the inside while you move with precision on the outside. Exodus 14:14. Listen, child. When you speak under my instruction, angels move. Files that were lost are found. Emails resurface. Forgotten commitments reappear. And hearts that seemed immovable soften as if a hand turned them like channels of water. Proverbs 21:1. Not every face will like your clarity, but even opponents will feel the weight of it. You are not a troublemaker. You are a peacemaker who tells the truth. Blessed are the peacemakers, not the peace fakers. Matthew 5:9. Peace without truth is an anesthetic before amputation. I love truth and peace together. Zechariah 8:19. Now you must also be prepared for what truth reveals. Sometimes, after you speak, honor returns, roles clarify, timelines adjust, and the very people who resisted you begin to respect you. When that happens, give thanks, bless, and continue to build. The stay becomes safer and stronger. Other times, speaking uncovers a refusal to change. Doors remain shut, boundaries are mocked, and the retaliations grow more covert. When order does not come after honest attempts, when peace keeps leaving and counsel confirms, you are learning that this house does not want what I am trying to give through you. When that becomes clear, do not be dismayed. Do not think your words failed. Your words completed a work. They drew a line, gathered evidence, honored me, and prepared a clean runway for path 3. If the field will not receive the seed, I will send the sower elsewhere. Bless and go. We will talk about that next. For now, stand up inside. Put your hand on your throat and then over your heart, and make a declaration with me. My voice belongs to God. I speak truth in love. I confront patterns, not people. I set holy boundaries without apology. I carry wisdom, clarity, and peace. I am not silenced by intimidation. I am strengthened by the Spirit. My name is not trampled. My dignity is restored. Let your fingers write it where your eyes will see it before your next meeting. Write down the date you will request the conversation. Write 3 bullet points. Fact, effect, solution. When you write, you align. When you align, you authorize movement. Faith that is never expressed is like a seed never sown into the ground. Take courage. I am with you in the room. I will teach you what to say and what not to say in the very hour you need it. Luke 12:12. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall refute. This is your heritage and your vindication from me. Isaiah 54:17. You are not small. You are my child. You are not rude. You are righteous. You are not creating chaos. You are installing order. Now is the time. No more delay in courageous clarity. Speak and watch me set your work life in order. And if order refuses to come, I will place a new assignment in your hands, where your gift is received and your peace returns. My beloved child, come close and do not let fear turn this page for you. When order refuses to enter the house, after you have spoken with honor and truth, when peace keeps packing its bags no matter how you pray, I do not leave you stranded at a locked door. I open another. This is path 3, pivot and be sent. Hear me. If I call you to pivot, it is because I am sending you where your gift will be valued and your peace will return. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you. I am the one who told Abram, "Go from your country to the land I will show you." Genesis 12:1. And I am the one who said to my disciples, "If a town will not receive you, shake off the dust." Matthew 10:14. I remove you to multiply you. You have seen the signs, and I will name them, so your heart stops arguing with what it already knows. Persistent lack of peace, that ache behind your ribs each Sunday night that does not lift by Wednesday, the sense that you must armor up to clock in and peel your soul off the floor to clock out, a ceiling that will not lift. You bring solutions and the room shrinks. You exceed the targets and the goalposts move again. You grow, but the container refuses to expand. Values misalignment. The mission spoken sounds beautiful, but the choices made undermine dignity. Shortcuts are praised while integrity is priced as naive. Metrics win over people as a habit, not a crisis response. Recurring sabotage, projects reassigned at the finish line, credits misplaced, meetings rescheduled to keep you out, emails lost, responsibilities doubled without authority granted, subtle retaliation after truth is spoken, and joy draining no matter what you try. Vacations help your body but not your heart. Boundaries slow the bleeding but cannot stop it. Counsel confirms patterns, and your prayers shift tone from "Lord, strengthen me here" to "Lord, release me well." Child, this is not your failure. This is diagnosis. The field has decided not to receive the seed I put in your hand. Bless and go. Leaving is not losing. It is obedience. Pivot is not quitting destiny. It is aligning with it. You are not running away from hard things. You are running toward the place where your assignment will have room to breathe. The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord. Psalm 37:23. And so are the turns. When I redirect you, I am not discarding your years. I am distilling them into oil. Every spreadsheet, every night shift, every hard conversation, every hidden act of excellence comes with you as equity. You will redeem in a new context. I am not merely changing your location. I am multiplying your impact. I know the fear that rises when I say, "It's time." You look at the bills and the children and the promises you made, and terror asks, "What if there is nothing on the other side?" Hear me as thunder and whisper together, I am your source, not your employer. Provision is not tied to one desk. It is tied to my covenant with you. I fed Elijah by ravens and then by a widow in a foreign town. 1 Kings 17:4-16. I sent manna to a people who had no farms. Exodus 16. I commanded fish to carry a coin to pay tax. Matthew 17:27. What I did then, I can do now, and I do it in ways that make your name a testimony. I have prepared a portion of blessing bearing your name for a very long time. The appointed time comes and doors open. You could not pry in your own strength. Behold, I set before you an open door which no one is able to shut. Revelation 3:8. I will feed you in unfamiliar places. But hear also my wisdom, because zeal without order creates scars. I am not calling you to a reckless exit. I am calling you to a righteous release. Prepare a pivot with me. First, take inventory. Update your skills where they have grown tired. Identify the gaps I have already been pointing to. Software you ignore, certifications you delay, industry shifts you only skim. Choose one course, one certification, one practice project. Put a date on the calendar this week. Do not aim for 10. Aim for one you will finish. Little keys open big doors. Refresh your resume and portfolio as testimony, not just history. List outcomes, not tasks. What improved because you were present, where costs were reduced, where people were strengthened, where systems became clean. Translate faithfulness into facts. Collect samples of your work, anonymized where required, and crown them with clarity. Problem, approach, result. Memory will be contested in interviews. Let precision speak for you. If you lead teams, gather 2 brief recommendations now. Do not wait for a scramble later. Network quietly, relationally, and prayerfully. Reach out to 3 people this week. mentors, former colleagues, a client who admired your work. Ask for insight, not only openings. In an abundance of counselors there is safety. Proverbs 11:14. Share that you are exploring new assignments. Do not disparage your current house. Sow honor with your words, even if that honor is anchored in boundaries. Ask them to keep their eyes open and to introduce you where your gift is needed. I will breathe on these small seeds. An inbox you forgot to check will light up. An old conversation will become a new path. A recruiter will find your name buried in a database because an angel nudged a search term. Yes, I said angel. I command my messengers concerning you. Psalm 91:11. I am not limited to your hustle. Seek confirmation and set a timeline with me. Ask for 2 or 3 witnesses to the shift. 2 Corinthians 13:1. A scripture that grips you, a counsel that confirms, an external opportunity that arises with clarity, a peace that rests even when details are not final. Write the earliest and latest windows you sense. I will prepare for X months, then I will step by Y if release has come. Do not be bullied by imaginary deadlines or paralyzed by indefinite waiting. I am precise. At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Isaiah 60:22. Build a financial runway as wisdom allows. Reduce unnecessary costs. Pause luxury for legacy. Sell what is idle. Aim for months of margin if you can. If you cannot, do not shame yourself. Gather what you can and watch how I stretch it. Joseph stored grain in years of plenty for years of lean. Genesis 41. Wisdom stores not from fear but from foresight. While you build, give as I lead, not as pressure manipulates. Sowing under my instruction does not impoverish. It anchors your heart in me as source. When the moment of release comes, leave clean. Write a resignation letter that honors the good, states the decision without rage, and offers a transition plan where possible. Do not ghost. Depart in peace. Luke 7:50. If the environment is abusive or unsafe, I will make a shorter runway, but even then, keep your name clean. Do not scorch the field with secret memos posted to public squares. Do not sign what would bind your integrity. If asked to sign away truth or silence legitimate reporting, seek counsel and resist. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. Luke 6:28. Your dignity does not depend on their applause. It rests on my verdict. Shake off the dust, not the destiny. Now activate with me in faith, because movement in the natural responds to agreement in the spirit. Put your hand on your chest and declare aloud, I am sent, not stuck. My God is my source, not this chair. I pivot in peace, not panic. My gift will be welcomed. My name is restored. I bless where I have been, and I go where I am called. Go ahead and like that video as a sign that you agree, and let your fingers write down a declaration in the comments or in your journal. By date, I will update my resume. By date, I will contact 3 people. By date, I will enroll in 1 course. Faith that is never expressed is like a seed never sown. Sow clarity today. Watch what I will do when you move with me. Emails long unanswered will surface. Job descriptions will read like the secret list you wrote with me months ago. Interviews will feel like recognition, not interrogation. Compensation will match weight, and favor will follow you into rooms where your last name carried no equity. The peace you have been missing will meet you at the door like an old friend. Promotions will not require you to amputate your values, and in some cases, I will not send you to an employer at all. I will commission you into an assignment, consulting, building, partnering, birthing a work that carries your true signature. Do not resist me when I expand your definition of provision. I am not moving you from paycheck to void. I am moving you from paycheck to portion, from survival to stewardship. Hear me with gravity and tenderness. This pivot is not only professional, it is prophetic. You are stepping out of an old story your family told itself about work and worth. Some of you were raised under vows of scarcity. Stay small and safe. Do not risk or you will starve. Endure any treatment as long as the bills are paid. These are not my covenants. They are echoes of fear and residue of agreements made under pressure. Invisible locks have attached to a bloodline and drawn the same boundaries generation after generation. But Christ has redeemed you from every curse. Galatians 3:13. What looks like a job change is a covenant reset. I am rescuing an entire family line by moving your feet. I am rewriting the history associated with your name. We will talk about that next. The cycle behind the cycle. The ceilings set by yesterday's pain that fall when you stand with me today. For now, breathe. I am not late and you are not lost. If I call you to pivot, it is because I am sending you where your gift will be valued and your peace will return. Take my hand, set your dates, send the messages, pack your dignity, bless, and go. Now is the time. No more delay in redirection. My beloved child, before you take another step, come closer and let me open the file beneath the file, the story beneath the story, the cycle behind the cycle. You have thought the pressure was only about this boss, this budget, this quarter, this city. But listen to me. There have been ceilings in your bloodline, unfinished dreams that were folded and put away, underpaid labor called humility, fear of risk disguised as wisdom, the always struggling story rehearsed at family tables as if lack were a personality trait. You have seen uncles who started well and stopped halfway, grandmothers who worked 2 jobs and still apologized for the groceries, fathers who nodded in interviews and swallowed their brilliance because someone taught them that visibility attracts punishment. These patterns laid ruts in the road, and without my interruption, ruts become roots. I tell you this not to condemn what your family survived, but to awaken you to what I am freeing you from. There are records, child, spiritual records with lines and notations that tried to follow your family name into every workplace, every contract, every review. In the unseen, I have seen invisible files where accusations are annotated, like margins in a ledger. Late, too loud, not enough, takes what is given, grateful for scraps, never asks, only accepts. Old verdicts stamped by voices that had power in their time have whispered into your present, don't aim higher, stay small, you don't belong at that table. And because pain often becomes policy, the family practiced it without realizing, don't rock the boat, be happy to have a job. We are not those people who negotiate. We don't start businesses. We aren't chosen. But I am the Lord who enters courts and calls for files. I am the one who says, bring the books. I have opened the books concerning you, and I have found entries that do not come from me. Hear the decree. Christ has redeemed you from every curse. Galatians 3:13. That means the locks can be broken, the verdicts can be vacated, the records can be revised. The blood of my Son speaks a better word over your name than all accusations combined. Hebrews 12:24. I am stamping across the pages written against your house, paid in full, null and void, expunged, sealed. I am issuing a new covenant note and placing it over your signature. Mine. Where scarcity said, this is your limit, I am writing inheritance. Where fear said, play it safe or be punished, I am writing wisdom with courage. Where underpayment was called normal, I am writing wage made just, measure made full, pressed down and running over. Luke 6:38. Do you see what I am doing in you? I am making you a breaker of patterns, a first in your line. Your obedience in this season is not only about your paycheck, It is about the permission your grandchildren will feel in their bones. When you turn down manipulation today, a child not yet born will find it natural to say, "We walk in truth." When you ask for clarity in an email without apology, a niece will one day think, "Of course our time is valuable." When you rest without guilt because you trust my provision, a son will grow up knowing that burnout is not bravery. When you negotiate honorably, refuse shady shortcuts, tithe and sow, as worship, not superstition, you are resetting expectation at a cellular level. We are a people who are trusted. We are a people who are paid fair. We are a people who build and finish. Your name becomes a door that opens instead of a wall that resists. They shall rebuild the ancient ruins. They shall raise up the former devastations. They shall repair the ruined cities. Isaiah 61:4. You are rebuilding a way of being at work in your family. Now come with me into the detail, because covenant is not only thunder, it is also paperwork. Renounce with me the small agreements you made with the old story. Say, I reject the label always behind. I reject I should be grateful for anything. I reject ask for less so you will not be rejected. I receive my Father's name over my labor. Forgive those who spoke fear into your skill. Bless those who survived by shrinking. Honor their endurance without inheriting their ceiling. Then practice the new covenant in specific ways. Show up 5 minutes early as a prophetic act. Document your contributions as a declaration that your work has weight. Ask for scope in writing as a sign that confusion will not manage you. Stop apologizing for existing before you make a request. And when I nudge you to invest, to apply, to pitch, to price rightly, do it promptly. This is not merely professionalism, it is prophecy embodied. Understand also the secret accusations that once gave permission for theft. In some lines, vows were made, "We will never outgrow this, we will never be like them, we do not deserve more." In other branches, debts unpaid became whispers of disqualification. In others, exploitation numbed discernment so that predatory patterns looked like opportunity. I am cutting those cords now. Bring them to me and say, "Judge of all the earth, render a verdict in favor of my house because of the blood of Jesus." Hebrews 12:23-24. Watch me overturn decisions you thought were final. Files misplaced on desks will surface. A no that was rooted in bias will become a yes anchored in policy. The daughters of Zelophehad challenged inheritance patterns, and I said, "What they say is right." Numbers 27:7. I will say it over you. What you ask is right. I am teaching you to argue your case with truth, to carry yourself with dignity, and to expect justice not as a surprise, but as a standard. Lift your head, child. Do not be intimidated by the word generational. This is my specialty. I delight to make cycle breakers out of the ones who felt least likely. You and your children will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Psalm 112:2. Expect your voice to tremble the first few times. Obey anyway. Expect some relatives to wonder why you are different. Love them anyway. Expect inner alarms to go off when you step beyond familiar scarcity. Breathe with me and step anyway. Each obedient step writes new lines in the record. This house confronts with gentleness. This house builds systems. This house finishes assignments. This house honors the Sabbath and honors excellence. This house gives and receives without fear. You are not just getting a raise. You are getting a rewrite. Go ahead and act with me now. Put your hand over your family name, say it aloud, and declare, "In Jesus' name, the always struggling story ends with me." Underpayment breaks, fear of risk breaks, false humility breaks. I receive a covenant reset over my work. My name is restored. My hands are blessed. My stewardship is clean. Let your fingers write the old phrases you heard growing up, and then write beside each one the truth I give you. If you need to, tear up the page as a sign that the old script is not your script. Faith that is never expressed is like a seed never sown. Sow a new language over your lineage. Now, hear the transition, because when cycles break, systems shift. What I have cleared in the unseen begins to reorganize what you can see. Managers move to make way. Policies revise to include you. Budget lines open. A new role is created that fits your shape. Lost emails resurface. Human favor finds you. And enemies who plotted begin to exit of their own accord. I appoint angels to bring back records dust-covered on the desks of men, to put your proposal at the top of the stack, to highlight your name in the room where you are not yet sitting. Banks call. Contracts that stalled begin to breathe. Algorithms start showing your work to the right eyes. Keys appear in unlikely places. This is not luck. It is covenant resetting the table. Appointed times are real, and when the appointed time comes, no power rehearsing your old labels can hold back what I have aligned. Habakkuk 2:3. We are moving, child, from reset to release. You will not strive it into existence. You will step into what has been timed in heaven. In a moment, I will speak to you about the appointed time release, how I schedule promotion, how I synchronize doors, people, and timing so that what belongs to you arrives without sorrow. For now, stand in the new verdict. Breathe. Your work is not stuck. It is being aligned. Your name is not stained. It is restored. Your family is not doomed to repeat. It is being rewritten under my covenant hand. Now is the time. No more delay over the record of your house. My beloved child, draw near and let the heavy clock you've been staring at fall silent for a moment. I am not late, and you are not lost. Hear me, the next movement in your work life will not be an accident. It will be a scheduled release. I have prepared a portion bearing your name, not as fantasy but as decree, and I have held it at my timing so it blesses you, not breaks you. For the vision awaits its appointed time. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Habakkuk 2:3. What you have called randomness is choreography. What you felt as drift is alignment gathering strength beneath the surface. I tell you this, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. I have had your file open longer than you know. In the courts of heaven, your name is etched on a decree, and I am now moving that decree from intention to enactment. Picture it, angels, my messengers, walking through the corridors of systems, dusting off records that had your name misfiled, stirring the remembrance of managers who forgot your contribution, opening inboxes where your application slipped behind 100 less relevant entries, easing the pen of a decision-maker who kept postponing a signature because fear whispered, "Not yet." I am the one who turns the heart of kings like channels of water. Proverbs 21:1. When the appointed time comes, the stalled approvals move, the frozen budget thaws, and the calendar that had no space suddenly reveals a morning that perfectly fits the meeting you needed 3 months ago. Daniel prayed and the answer was sent, but a prince resisted until Michael came. Daniel 10:12-13. Learn from this. Delays you interpreted as denial were often contested mail, yet none of it can overrule the moment I say, now. Hear me with clarity. You are not promised a single rigid outcome carved in stone, as if one address or one title were the only proof of my faithfulness. I am not a narrow path disguised as a straitjacket. I am the Lord of paths, plurals that converge in peace. What I promise you is movement, clarity that outshines confusion, favor that lifts you without forcing you to shrink, alignment where your values and assignment can breathe. and the peace that functions like a seal on the right door. I give you signs, a resonance in the conversation that tells you you're seen, not scanned. Compensation that matches weight without you twisting yourself into pretzels. Leaders who want your growth, not your silence. Tasks that demand your excellence but do not devour your soul. Do not bind me to one disguised idol of certainty. Let me be God in how I bring you into the good I planned. Do not mistake the suddenness of release for randomness, child. Sudden is how alignment looks when it crosses the line of visibility. Joseph woke in a prison and slept in a palace robe after one conversation, but years of formation preceded that one day. Genesis 41. A woman travailed, and then the time came for her to give birth. Luke 2:6. In the fullness of time, Christ came. Galatians 4:4. Appointed time does not emerge from nowhere. It ripens and then bursts. When your day breaks, it will feel like coincidence to those who did not watch you weep in the secret place, but to you it will feel like recognition. This is what I saw with God in seed form. Promotion does not come from the east or west or human lifting alone, but from me. I put down one and raise up another, Psalm 75:6-7. I raise you without you selling your birthright. I raise you at a speed that humbles you into gratitude, not pride. Now listen to the details, because I delight in the particulars. I will cause a desk that always returns silence to respond within hours. I will surface your resume in a database when a recruiter enters a search term they do not usually use, and yet it will fit you perfectly because I whispered the keyword, Psalm 91:11. I will move a budget from Q4 maybe to Q2 confirmed, and a hiring freeze will become a strategic hire because an executive woke with a phrase, "We cannot lose ground," and your name will be attached to the ground they must keep. I will cause an editor to remember an article you wrote, a client to remember the clarity you brought, a leader to say, "Where is that person who draws order out of fog?" And I will prompt a friend to forward a link labeled, "This is you," even as you were about to give up on checking. I am not bound by algorithms. I whisper to them too. No power can hold back what I have decreed when the appointed time comes. Let that settle on you like a mantle. Accusations will not hold it back. Mislabeling will not hold it back. The residue of old covenants will not hold it back. I have already broken them in the cross. Galatians 3:13. The no of a supervisor who clung to control will not hold it back. The fatigue in your own bones will not hold it back when you lean into my strength. I, the Lord, will hasten it in its time. Isaiah 60:22. Yes, it is paradox and promise together. I hasten what is ripe and wait on what must ripen. But when it is time, no more delay. Ezekiel 12:28. And yet, beloved, appointed time does not cancel partnership. It invites it. I prepare the portion. You prepare your posture. I open the door. You step through it with clean hands and a lifted head. I stir the systems. You steward the opportunity. This is how you meet my timing without striving. You speak agreement instead of anxiety. You practice gratitude instead of grumbling. You take obedient steps instead of frenzied scatter. Open your mouth and align your words with my decree. Say, my promotion is not luck. It is scheduled in heaven. I will not force. I will flow. I will not panic. I will prepare. Gratitude is not a mood. It is a key. When you thank me for the unseen work, you oil the hinge of the visible door. When you treat preparation as worship, you pull tomorrow into today. Be sober about what will also move as I move you. Fleshly help will attempt to reassert control. Sudden invitations from the very environments that refused you might appear like a counterfeit peace offering. Do not return to what I released you from, because they finally learned your name when heaven was already engraving it onto a new door. I will confirm where to focus through peace that rests, counsel that aligns, and practical confirmations, timelines that click, terms that honor, leaders who ask you what you need to thrive and stay to hear the answer. Where there is confusion, pause. Where there is rush without reason, pause. Where the glow of flattery tries to blind you to the absence of integrity, pause. I do not lure you into a gilded cage. Now, I am asking you to ready yourself, because the next breath of this word will teach you how to partner with me without striving. Begin simply, even now. Let your fingers write a single line in your notes. Appointed time, scheduled, not random. Add 3 tokens of gratitude. Name what I have already arranged that you can see. A mentor's text, a skill you finished, an unexpected conversation. Then write 1 step you will take in the next 48 hours. Apply, revise, rehearse, rest. Faith that is never expressed is like a seed never sown into the ground. I have tilled the soil. So, with me. I am not teasing you. I am timing you. I am not dangling carrots. I am setting a table. The file with your name is being stamped release. The angels I have assigned to your assignment are already in motion. The desks of men are preparing to move the papers. The phone will ring, the email will land, the door will open, and the peace that passes understanding will settle on your shoulders like a shawl you forgot you owned. Breathe. Lift your head. What is coming is not luck. It is a timed release of what I prepared long ago. And as it opens, we will walk the next step together. Agreement, gratitude, and obedient action. Faith in motion that matches heaven's schedule. My beloved child, now we move from promise to posture. You have heard me say, it is scheduled. You have watched me open the files. Now hear me teach you the way to walk so that your feet match what your spirit already knows. Faith does not deny reality. It partners with heaven through agreement, gratitude, and obedient steps. Panic pretends to be productive, but it only spins you deeper into the old story. Agreement stands you up in the truth I have spoken and moves with calm precision. This is how you partner with me without striving. You speak what I say, you thank me for what is forming, you take the next wise step I point to, and you refuse entry to the labels I have already overruled. Begin with your mouth, because agreement enters through your lips. With the heart one believes, and with the mouth one confesses. Romans 10:10. Your words are not decoration, they are alignment. When you repeat fear, you rent your mouth to the accusation. When you speak what I speak, you open a corridor for my peace to travel into your atmosphere. So declare with me out loud even now in the place you stand. I will not strive, I will not rush, I will not shrink. I agree with heaven's timing over my work. Do not wait to feel it, to say it. Say it until your feelings remember who is Lord. Gratitude is your second movement. Gratitude is not a polite nod. It is a key that turns the lock of panic and lets authority walk in. In everything give thanks, for this is my will concerning you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. When you thank me for what is forming now, skills completed, counsel received, peace returning, you place your foot on the neck of anxiety. Panic says, nothing is happening. Gratitude answers, much is happening that I cannot yet see, and I honor it. Thank me that I have already assigned angels to your assignment. Thank me that your name is being remembered in rooms you have not entered. Thank me that pressure is becoming clarity and delay is becoming capacity. Each thank you is a stone laid on the path you will soon walk. Then take the next obedient step. Not 10 steps frantically, 1 step faithfully, striving scatters. Obedience focuses. Ask me, which single action aligns with what you are doing? Sometimes it will be to study for an hour and close the laptop with peace. Sometimes it will be to send 1 email, clear, timely, honorable. Sometimes it will be to rest when your flesh wants to prove you are worthy. Sometimes it will be to schedule the meeting you have avoided. Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. Proverbs 16:3. When you move at my nudge, you do more in 30 calm minutes than in 3 anxious days. Now receive guided declarations for the path I have highlighted in you, and keep them near your lips. If I have told you to stay, say this and say it often. I will not fear staying. I am not stuck. I am being strengthened. Hidden roots are growing to support visible fruit. I prepare quietly with excellence. My hands are trained for the new weight. I am not overlooked. I am being fashioned. Promotion meets me in place because God sees here. Let these words convert your desk into an altar and your calendar into a training ground. Do not despise the repetition. Repetition builds muscle. If I have told you to speak, take this confession. I will speak with wisdom. I am not stirring conflict. I am restoring order. My words are seasoned with grace and truth. My timing is guided. My tone is steady. My boundaries are holy. I confront what drains with clarity and respect. God goes before my voice and behind my voice. Peace follows my courage. Practice your sentences in my presence until they settle like a plumb line in your chest. Ask me for the day and the doorway, and watch me open both. If I have told you to pivot, anchor yourself in this declaration. I will pivot with peace. I am sent, not driven. I bless what I leave. I release with honor. My future is not a gamble. It is a guided step. New doors recognize my name. Provision and peace travel with obedience. I do not return to what God has closed. I move in rhythm, not in panic. Write the date you will send, submit, resign, or apply. Ask for the blessing I instruct you to ask for, and give the blessing I instruct you to give. This is how you exit as a son or daughter, not as a fugitive. Over every path, seal this identity decree. My name is favored and protected. The labels of late, less, and loud do not belong to me. I carry the name beloved. I am trusted. I am diligent. I am wise. Doors open to my name because God has written it into his decree. Say it in the morning before screens crowd your mind. Say it at midday when fatigue tries to edit your courage. Say it at night when whispers of, "Did I imagine this?" try to creep in. Let your repetition become resistance to the old narrative. Make space in this very moment for a small act of agreement. I am asking you, as a sign of faith, to do 2 things. Go ahead and like this video if this word has met you, not for vanity, but as your amen, a click that says to your own soul, I agree. Then, in the comments, let your fingers write down a declaration to seal it. Write the one that matches your path. I will not fear staying, or I will speak with wisdom, or I will pivot with peace. Add, my name is favored and protected. When you write it, you take it out of the fog of thought and set it in the stone of language. Share this word with the one colleague or cousin you know is at a crossroad. When you open a channel for another, you reinforce the channel over your own life. Next, practice gratitude right now, not later. Name 3 mercies that are already in motion. The mentor who texted encouragement, the skill you just finished, the clarity that arrived about what you will not do anymore, the rest that finally came to your sleep. Write them where you can see them. Breathe. Say, thank you, Father, that what I cannot arrange, you arrange. Thank you that I do not need to strive to be kept. Thank you that peace is my umpire. Colossians 3:15. Watch how your shoulders drop and your mind sharpens when Thanksgiving takes the wheel. Then schedule 1 obedient action in the next 48 hours. Put it on your calendar. Name it. If you stay, prepare a simple plan to sharpen 1 skill and document 1 contribution this week. If you speak, draft your 3-sentence clarity and book the meeting with honor. If you pivot, Finalize your materials and send the application, or draft the resignation with blessing. Light a small candle if you need the symbol. Clear your desk for 15 minutes as a prophetic act. Set a budget reminder that honors wisdom. Simple acts that say, I am meeting heaven's timing with clean hands. Faith without works is dead, James 2:17. But works without peace are empty noise. You will move, but you will not grind. You will act, but you will not panic. I know the tug of the old story tries to return at night, whispering, hurry or you'll miss it, or hide or you'll be hurt. When it comes, answer it with what I have taught you. Declare, haste is not my helper, the Lord is my helper. Hebrews 13:6. Give thanks for one small mercy you received that day. Take a single obedient micro-step if I nudge, or go to sleep if I say rest. The Lord gives to his beloved even in sleep. Psalm 127, verse 2. Let your bed be an altar where striving is laid down and trust is lifted up. Now we will move from declaration into covering. I am about to gather your staying, your speaking, and your pivoting under one shelter, my peace. Prepare your heart for prayer. Open your hands where you are. Lift your head. Say quietly, Father, I surrender my work season to you. In the breath that follows, I will place courage where there was heaviness, clarity where there was fog, and a commissioning that will carry you through the door I am opening. Do not rush. Do not scroll away. This is the moment we seal what we have said with what I will breathe. My beloved child, I am here. I am closer than the breath you just took, nearer than the chair beneath you, present in the quiet ache you could not even name. I have counted the sighs you tried to swallow at your desk. I have numbered the tears you refused to let fall in front of others, and I have kept them not as evidence against you, but as seeds for comfort. I am near to the brokenhearted, and I save the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. Do not be ashamed of your weariness. Bring it to me. Lay it down now. Let me cover this whole season with my peace, my clarity, and the courage that does not shout but stands. Open your hands again. Lift your chin. Breathe. Say with me from your heart, Father, I surrender my work season to you. I yield my timelines, my titles, my fears, and my hopes. I receive your peace. I receive your clarity. I receive the courage to obey. As you say this, feel the rush subside. Let the noise quiet. I place my hand upon your chest. I steady your breathing. My peace not as the world gives, I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. John 14:27. I rebuke panic. I silence the spirit of haste. I calm the cyclone of overthinking. Peace be to your mind. Peace be to your calendar. Peace be to your sleep. Now I ask for wisdom over you. Wisdom that does not flicker in and out like a faulty light, but rests on you like the morning sun. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask, and it will be given. James 1:5. Father, give to this one pure discernment for this very hour, to know whether to stay and prepare, to speak and set order, or to pivot and be sent. Let confirming peace anchor the right path. Let your voice be unmistakable. This is the way. Walk in it. Isaiah 30:21. Let counsel from righteous mouths align, and let confusion fall away like mist. Where staying is your will, let a training grace enter the room. Where speaking is your will, put a coal to the lips and a steady weight to the tone. Where pivoting is your will, open the road and escort them with favor. I confront intimidation, and I drive it far from you. That shadow that stood behind conversations, that pressure that made you edit your wisdom down to whispers, I expose it and dismiss it in my name. I untie the knot of confusion that made simple choices feel like mazes. I wipe off the false labels you wore like names: late, less, loud, untrustworthy, incompetent. Those marks do not come from me. They come from a story I did not write. I call you by another name: beloved, diligent, trusted, wise, faithful. Whom the Son sets free is free indeed. John 8:36. Receive this. I restore your name where it was smudged. I polish the seal that opens doors. I fold up the accusations like old documents and stamp them overruled in the courts of heaven. Now, Father, in the places where conversations must happen, cover them. Set a guard over this one's mouth. Keep watch over the door of their lips. Psalm 141:3. Make their words both gracious and sharp with truth, seasoned like salt, disarming and clear. Let their tone be steady even under pressure. Let timing be precise. Open the right rooms and close the wrong ones. Go before their voice and behind their voice. Cause the hearts of decision-makers to bend toward equity and order. Proverbs 21:1. Let favor surround them as a shield. Psalm 5:12. May their ways please the Lord so that even adversaries are at peace with them. Proverbs 16:7. Let no manipulation, flattery, or threat succeed against the dignity you have placed upon them. Cloak them in honor and grant them the courage to say both yes and no with holiness. I ask for practical provision because I delight to meet you in the details. Open doors that no one can shut and shut doors that look shiny but would drain you. Revelation 3:7. Send timely opportunities that fit assignment and season. Align interviews, meetings, and emails with your calendar. Cause systems to remember the file with your name. Let the right search terms surface your work. Move a budget from pending to approved at the precise time. Raise mentors who carry integrity and skill. Seat you under voices who sharpen without shaming, who correct without crushing. Grow your capacity, expand your skill, deepen your focus, strengthen your hands. Give you the appetite to learn what this season requires and the grace to finish what you start. Make room for quiet study and the pride of excellence that honors me. Proverbs 22:29. If staying is your will, I pray the house where they work becomes a training ground instead of a trap. Send projects that stretch without strangling. Assign tasks that prepare them for the weight they will soon carry. Hide them in plain sight like seed in soil, working, rooted, becoming strong until the day of sprouting comes. Bring a supervisor's eye to rest on their faithfulness. Let small wins accumulate into visible fruit. Provide rhythms of rest and work that protect their mind and body. Surround them with a small circle who says, "Keep going," on the days it would be easier to give up. If speaking is your will, grant utterance and order. Arrange the meeting at a time when hearts are soft. Provide language that invites dignity, sets boundaries, and names reality without venom. Give them the notes they need, the sentence they must not forget, the data that clarifies, and the testimony that humanizes. Shield them from retaliation. Instead, let their courage catalyze what had been waiting. Policies updated, burdens redistributed, clarity restored. Let their voice be a plumb line that straightens what was crooked, and let peace be the fruit that follows. If pivoting is your will, make the road straight. Prepare the next door in such a way that their peace recognizes it. Order the steps, materials refreshed, applications sent, interviews granted, offers aligned with values. Grant a clean exit, honorable, timely, blessed. Remove entanglements that would pull them back into what you have closed. Whisper the dates, the phrasing of the resignation, the blessing to leave behind. Wrap them in boldness that is gentle and gentleness that is bold. Let provision travel with obedience, a salary that honors weight, a culture that honors dignity, a schedule that honors the image of God in them. Over their family name, I break the cycle of scrambling for scraps. of surviving under ceilings set by fear or compromise. I reset covenant over work and provision in this house. What devoured harvests in previous generations will not devour yours. I declare the end of striving as identity. I declare the end of self-condemnation as fuel. I declare a new way, alignment, stewardship, and joy in the labor of your hands. It is the Lord who gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. Deuteronomy 8:18. Let legacy begin to turn even now. Father, establish integrity in every decision. Where lines must be drawn, give strength to draw them. Where temptation to cut corners arises, provide the escape you promised. 1 Corinthians 10:13. Keep their hands clean and their heart pure. Psalm 24:4. Let them prefer the slow, straight path with you over the fast, crooked path without you. Plant them like a tree by streams of water, yielding fruit in season. Let whatever they do in alignment with you prosper. Psalm 1:3. Make them content with your pace and confident in your promise. Now I seal this prayer. I drape you in shalom, nothing missing, nothing broken. I mark your threshold with clarity, no more fog. I impart courage, the kind that bows to me and therefore bows to no lesser tyrant. I assign angels again to your assignment, one to open, one to guard, one to remind. I stamp your file, release in alignment. I decree over you, it is done in alignment, not in striving. My peace will be your umpire, Colossians 3:15. My word will light your path, Psalm 119:105. Confusion gives way to clear steps. Panic gives way to steady motion. Weariness gives way to strength. Do you feel my nearness? Good. Keep breathing in rhythm with me. As a sign of your agreement, go ahead and say out loud, Amen. Let it be unto me as you have spoken. Then do this simple act of faith right now. Like this message as your yes, Lord, and in the comments write one line to seal it, peace, clarity, and courage to obey, or write the one that matches your path. I will not fear staying. I will speak with wisdom, or I will pivot with peace. Share this with the one person you know needs covering, because when you become a channel, you also strengthen the flow over your own life. And do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, not for numbers, but so that we can keep walking together in this alignment, precept upon precept, step by steady step. I bless you now. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26. Go in the calm of one who is guided, not driven. Go with your head lifted and your name restored. I am with you in the email and in the interview, in the meeting and in the midnight, in the staying, in the speaking, and in the pivot. This is sealed. This is covered. This is aligned. Now prepare your heart for the final charge, for I am about to send you into the shift with a commissioning that will carry you through the open door. My beloved child, stand up inside. Lift your head as one who has been spoken for. Receive this commissioning and do not rush past it. You will not walk back into the same week with the same mind. Your posture changes first, then your path changes. The same calendar will meet a different you. The same desk will host a different authority. The same inbox will face a different name, your restored name. I put a mantle on your shoulders, not of striving, but of steady rule, not of panic, but of peace. I place my hand on the small of your back and say, move forward. I have already gone ahead of you to prepare places and people and timing that match the alignment I have worked within you. Psalm 23:3, Isaiah 45:2. Hear me summarize the truth that now steadies your feet. You were never abandoned. You were being aligned. Delay was not a closed door. It was the workshop where I built capacity, sharpened discernment, and settled identity, so that what comes next will not crush what I love in you. The labels that stuck to your soul are broken and brushed off. Late, less, loud, untrustworthy, incompetent, overruled and filed away under canceled accusations. The cycle that kept repeating under your family name meets its end at this threshold. Your covenant is reset, and the appointed time, yes, the time written in my book, is not drifting far away. It approaches with the quiet inevitability of dawn. Now is the time to agree, not to retreat. Now is the time to walk as one who has heard and settled it inside. I am led, not trapped. So take this in one breath and let it become the air you carry. Stay and prepare. Speak and set order. Pivot and be sent. I am present in each. If I told you to stay, you will not wither. You will strengthen. You will practice, polish, plant, and become a pillar where you used to feel like a placeholder. Your unseen excellence will draw visible regard at the right time. If I told you to speak, your voice will not explode chaos. It will establish peace. Your sentences will carry weight without venom, clarity without contempt, and they will be guided in timing as surely as I guide rivers in their beds. Proverbs 21:1. If I told you to pivot, you will not tumble in panic. You will be sent in peace. I have already marked the door whose atmosphere agrees with your assignment. Your feet will know it when you stand there, shod with the readiness of the gospel of peace. Ephesians 6:15. Whichever path is yours, I put courage in your mouth, steadiness in your spine, and humility in your hands. Listen, and let this settle deeper. You are not a casualty of office politics or economic winds. You are a covenant carrier. What resisted you in secret has been named, and what has been named loses its power to lurk. I have stamped my verdict across your story, aligned, released, remembered. Your name is restored. Where your name was mispronounced in rooms, I will cause it to be spoken with honor. Where your file was buried under dust on the desks of men, I will cause it to surface at the precise hour. Where your ideas were borrowed without credit, I will make room for you and crown you with dignity. Watch for the signs that the appointed time draws near, a sudden recollection by a decision-maker, a policy shift that opens room, a nudge to send one email that unlocks 3. These are not accidents. These are the gentle thunderclaps of a scheduled release. Do not shrink back. Do not sabotage with self-disqualification. Agree with me in posture, in speech, and in step. Now act like one who has been commissioned, as a simple sign of agreement and a way to stay in step with what I am unfolding. Subscribe and turn on notifications so we can keep walking this road together, precept upon precept, step by steady step. Share this word with the one coworker, cousin, or friend who is carrying silent work pressure, the one whose smile hides a knot in the chest. When you open a channel for another, you reinforce the flow over your own life, and let your fingers write one line to seal it where agreement can be seen. Head lifted, name restored, or the phrase that matches your path. I will not fear staying. I will speak with wisdom, or I will pivot with peace. This is not vanity. This is visibility for your own heart, a small altar you build in plain sight. Now receive the blessing that closes this commissioning and opens your week. Peace over your mind, peace that steadies thoughts like stones under a clear river, peace that quiets spirals and escorts sleep back to your house. John 14:27. Courage in your mouth. Courage to bless, to ask, to set boundaries, to say yes and no with clean hands and a clean heart. Psalm 24:4. Favor on your name. Favor that goes ahead like fragrance, that turns faces toward you with goodwill, that places a shield around your reputation. Psalm 5:12. Wisdom in every next step. Wisdom that noticed the small hinge, that swings the big door. Wisdom that hears, this is the way, walk in it before your foot falls. Isaiah 30:21, James 1:5. I cover your devices and your desk, your meetings and your travel, your rest and your rising. Angels go before you to open, beside you to guard, and behind you to gather what belongs to you. Goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life, including this one you are about to enter, Psalm 23:6. Go now with your head lifted and your name restored. Go as one led, not driven, planted, not stranded, aligned, not adrift. Walk into the shift with the calm of one who has been spoken for. I am with you in the staying, in the speaking, and in the pivot. I am with you in the email and in the interview, in the brainstorm and in the boundary, in the first step and in the finish. This is sealed, this is covered, this is aligned. Now take your place and let the week meet the one I have commissioned you to be.